Hello, everybody. This is Jim, and that's Warren, and you're watching Talking Vintage, show number 36. We're back.
We are back.
Yeah.
Yay,
We took
we
a
are
couple
back.
weeks off with the hurricane and everything. Sorry about that, but yeah, we had things to do, I guess.
Hopefully everybody
Yeah.
survived it okay, no
Yeah.
problems. you know?
Hopefully
Yeah.
everybody did just fine. Yep. Warren ran away, went to the Panhandle. I stayed here through it all. Really no damage, not a ton of damage here at the shop, just a lot of cleanup. But yeah, we're back. So this is October 11th. Today is October 11th.
Yes, it is.
We've been gone for 2 weeks now, I think.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's talk about some Decade events. Decade sponsors our show. Decade's Reclaimed Vintage Depot, located at 502 West Brennan Road, Lakeland, Florida, 33813. We've got the Junk and Treat coming up at the end of the month. Check out Facebook for the exact dates and times and all that. And then next month we have the big craft fair, which is really a huge deal here at Decades. Last year our first one was in October, but this first one's in November this year. And there's going to be lots of crafters out here selling the stuff they make. It's going to be a great time. And that's coming up in November. But Junk and Treat is a booth-wide sale or a vendor select sale where the vendor selects the percentage they want off. So yeah, that's coming up. But with that in mind, we are not offering any discounts right now. We're not calling our vendors for discounts because of the sale coming up.
Yeah.
So we're not doing any of that. So if you do have the 10% off card, we'll still honor that. But you know, traditionally we would call a vendor if you wanted a better price or whatever. But because of the sale, we're not doing that because it kind of gives us a break.
Plus our prices are pretty
Our
good
prices
anyway,
are great
you know?
anyways. Yep. Today is National Sausage Pizza Day. Woohoo!
Really?
Yep. Yep. I like sausage pizza.
I like pizza.
Today in history, in 1975, Saturday Night Live debuted. And it's still around. Yeah. 1975
I don't
on
think
this
it's
day.
as good though as it used to be.
I don't know. I still like it.
Well,
I still like it.
But
yeah.
I'm older, so I
I
saw
know.
it, yeah.
I know. One of my favorite skits is David S. Pumpkin, and he's perfect for this season.
Oh yeah.
For,
So
for
are
right
we.
now.
Look
Yeah,
at us.
yeah, with our
I
pumpkin
didn't even
shirts,
know we
yeah.
had pumpkin shirts on.
Yep. And so, okay, so we're moving on. The next thing we're going to talk about, and this is a big thing, is how do you sell your stuff? Not being a vendor. If you're a person at home and you're watching this video, or you're catching us on some other platform or whatever, people ask often, how do you sell your stuff? Well, selling it yourself is the best bet. If you want the most money, yard sale, Facebook, but do it yourself. Put it up on Facebook, you know, sell it that way. Do it at a yard sale. You're probably going to get a little bit more on Facebook than you would at a yard sale. But both of those platforms, people are going to want to offer you less than the price you're asking for it. So think of that ahead of time when you're pricing your stuff. The next way to do it is take it to an auction. You could take it to an auction. Those are good, but you have to take it to, you have to be specific. So let's say it's a comic book collection. Then you want to take it to an auction house that deals in comic books, because their audience will give you, you know, the more people that are at an auction, the more people that are viewing an auction, the higher the bids are going to go. If you just take it to a random auction and there's not somebody there that collects comics and knows the value of comics, you know, those could go relatively cheap.
Yep.
And even though you could put a reserve on them, you have to pay for that reserve. So auction house is okay, but you're going to pay that auction house regardless of whether it sells. Most of them are set up so that they either sell it for pennies on the dollar just so they can make something, or if you put a reserve on it, they charge you for that reserve. They're going to get their money either way, but it's not a bad way to do it.
I tried it and I was a little disappointed. Some of the stuff that I thought was worth
Yeah.
a lot more.
Yeah.
And again, you have the auction.
You got to be specific,
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
If you take a comic to an auction that nobody knows about comics, it's not going to get the
Right.
top dollar for
I
it.
did that with trains.
Yeah. You want, if you're going to do trains, you got to take it to a train type auction or a collectible type auction. Next thing you can do is consign it. We do a little bit of consigning here at Decades Reclaimed Vintage Depot. We are a 60-40 split, meaning the person who owns the piece gets 60 and we take 40. We don't have any setup fees or anything like that. A lot of consignments, they charge you when you walk in just to consign the piece so that they make money regardless of whether it sells. And then they have step-down procedures. If the piece has been there 2 weeks, they can step it down a percentage on the price, and so on and so on and so on. But again, they've got to make their money. They're an establishment. So, but it isn't a bad way to go, but you can do it. All right, if you've got a ton of stuff, I mean a bunch of stuff, you can hire an estate company, an estate sale company. And those are a good way to go if it's a whole entire house. But, you know, you do have to understand that there is a ton of work for those people involved in that. They have to come into the home. They have to set everything up. They have to get, you know, basically the junk out. They have to price all that stuff. They, you know, hopefully they know a lot about what they're selling, but if they don't, they have to look it up and they have to price it. You know, companies will have 4 and 5 people that just price things, you know, that go in and price things. And then, you know, they have to sell it. And usually it's a 3-day sale where they do a Friday and a Saturday, and then they turn around and do a Sunday, and then they do 50% off on Sunday. It's a great way to go, but understand that that estate sale company they've got the bulk of the labor. They're just, I mean, really, it's in labor intensive, and so they've got to make their money. So often they charge a big percentage, and then they take the first a certain amount up front. So let's just say they take, you know, $500 up front. I don't even know if I'm close, but if they take $500, the first $500, and they split the rest of it after that. But you got to have a ton of stuff, otherwise estate sales aren't going to work, and an estate sale company's not going to take your business unless they're going to make money. So it's just a good way to go.
Can I interject?
No, well, wait.
Oh.
What are you going to say?
I was going to talk about estate
what?
sale.
What about them?
Don't do it yourself.
Oh, no. I mean, if you're going to do a true estate sale, then do it yourself.
Yeah.
I mean, you could do a home one. You could just call it an estate sale. It's a yard sale, but it's an estate sale,
But people
and it's fine.
People are getting wise to that, though, because people like
Yeah,
to
but
go to estate sales.
if I come to your house and I sell your stuff, and I'm not an estate sale company, it's your estate, so
Right.
it's not.
Right.
You know what I mean? And that's a good place to find stuff if you're a reseller. But we'll talk about resellers.
But families like to do that, but they're so attached to it, they don't want to give it up.
But
and
that's
they don't
that's
the
their
pricing.
that's their
I know,
thing.
I know.
That's their thing.
Yeah.
Let's move on.
Okay.
The last thing you could do is sell it to a reseller. Okay, somebody like a vendor here at Decades Reclaim Vintage Depot, or a shop like us. The thing is that we are probably your last way to go, because we have set standards. Let's say you know, we're going to deal in 30%, maybe up to 50% of the value of the item. If the item's going to sell for you know, $100, we're going to give you 33.333. You know what I mean, for it. Because we have to sell the piece. Once we've given you the money, you're gone, you've got your money, but we have to sell it, and we have to have room to discount it, and it costs us money just to sell it. We pay rent here at the shop and stuff like that. So it's probably not the best way to go. I know a lot of resellers, they do 50-50. I do a 30-30-30, but you know, they take 50, they'll give you 50% of the value. Yeah, so that's probably not your best. I mean, if you want money, but if you want to get rid of it quickly or whatever, you know, we'll tell you, you know, it's worth this, we'll give you this, but you know that ahead of time. Don't get offended by if you take it to a reseller and you say, you know, I got this $100 item, what do you give me for it? And they say 33 bucks. You know, they've got to make money too. I hate that when people say we've got to make money too, but it's true. You're
But you
asking
do, yeah.
them to do something you're not willing to do, or I don't want to do. Look at it, man. We're over time already.
Man.
So let's close it down. I have my joke first.
Oh.
I was washing the car with a friend until they said, "Can't you use a sponge?" Think about that one. Okay. In closing, I want to thank everybody for watching Decades or Talking Vintage, brought to you by Decades Reclaim Vintage Depot. I'm Jim. That's Warren. You've been walking. Oh man, I can't talk now. Watching Talking Vintage. Join us next week. Have a great night.
See you guys.